I recently had the opportunity to interview Shawn White, aka Intentional Carnivore. It was a great discussion. And in fact, it was such a great discussion that it was a really long video, and I decided to break it up into three separate videos. So without further ado, let's go to one of those videos. So let's talk a little bit about the weight. I know that that's not that wasn't your primary thing, really. You wanted to fix a lot of the health issues and how you were feeling and stuff like that. But you can't escape the fact that you lost an incredible amount of weight in a short
Oh
time
yeah.
period. And there are people out there that say that it's not healthy to lose a lot of weight in a short time period. Did you have any conversations with your doctor about that? Was he ever at all concerned with how quickly you were losing weight with doing carnivore?
No, not even once. He never brought up the issue. When I went to him after the first time in between the last year, the first 6 months or 5 months, whatever. And he was impressed. You lost 100 pounds. I mean, it's not like I was 457 when I started, and I was like 357 whenever I showed up. So I wasn't fading away, but I was fading away. It's
Mhm.
hard to say you're fading away whenever you're 357 pounds and 5'9" or whatever. I started off as big around as I was tall. Okay. And so to lose 100 pounds was amazing. And at the same time, you're still crazy. Your BMI, I'll tell you, I actually pulled it up and I hope we can show it, man, because you see that the blue line right there.
Mhm.
All right, so if you go all the way up here to the top corner, that's where I started, and the red is the danger BMI zone. And so if you look, there's a long time spent in that BMI zone,
Yeah.
and it was on into this year before I ever made it out of the red zone. Like even with all the weight that I lost. So it was so unhealthy what was where I was at and what was going on that I guess my doctor knew that me getting that weight off, no matter how I got it off, was more beneficial than whatever was going on otherwise. But
Yeah.
he didn't mention it, and the second time he was even more amazed and didn't have anything other than just a shot. His exact words were, "I've never seen anything like it."
Hmm.
He's never seen anything like it before. So, um, and I'm not worried about it. And he knows if I was worried about it, I would have absolutely made mention of it. I am excited about it. I don't want to, discount that either. It's not the main thing. It's not the biggest thing, but I mean, it is pretty amazing. The only reason I think I feel, bad emphasizing that portion of it in this setting a lot of times is I don't want somebody else to think that it's going to happen like that every single time for every single person, because it's not. I've
Yeah.
never heard of anybody losing 245 pounds in a year and doing it, eating whenever they're hungry and whatever, and eating steak and eggs and bacon every day at that. um, so I mean, I don't want to say, but it can happen. I do want to show that part of it. It's
Mhm.
not going to happen every time, but it can happen because it happened to me.
Yeah.
So there is hope that it will be at that speed. The main thing is that it's happening, you know, and I don't want people to get their hopes up thinking, well, I'm going to eat this right here and I'm going to lose 245 pounds in a year. It could happen, but even if it doesn't, understand that it's more beneficial for you to get on this way of eating because it's the proper human diet. Put the beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, whatever your way of eating is on the ketogenic spectrum, and just trust the process and keep pushing forward with it. And don't let your mind get sidetracked and discouraged by the time frame that it takes, because your body knows what to do with it again. Um, and it's you'll get there eventually.
Yeah. And I think, you know, the other thing is 243 pounds that just should be an inspiration to anybody that's out there that is thinking like, I am so big that it's beyond what I can do at this point, right? Like it's
Mm-hmm.
going to take me forever to try and lose weight. I'm not going to be able to do it. But that's an inspiration right there. 243 pounds, and the BMI that you showed, like how high up that was, like severe, you know, severe obesity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know it can be really hard to fit in the scale and not be obese. You know, a lot of it has to do with our diets that we have done for years, the way we've ate. But, you know, to be so high up and to lose that, even if it wasn't a year, even if it was 2 or 3 years, it
Right.
still shows people that there's no reason to ever give up, that you can do it. You can lose
Yes.
that weight and you can get healthy. And pe- people are wired really to think about losing the weight, but
Mm-hmm.
they really do want to be healthy, is the thing. And
Yeah.
when you're overweight, you do get healthy by losing weight. That, you know, and
Right.
that's probably where you're coming from too, where you're like, I don't really want to emphasize the losing weight, it's about the health thing. But
Mm-hmm.
you lose the weight because you were overweight, and when you get healthy, you're going to lose that weight. But you
Yep.
know, it should be just a big inspiration to people, no matter how big you are, that you can do it. And you know,
Yes.
there's all kinds of people that are doing carnivore that are a perfect example of that. And I think that yours probably resonates really big because you've had that 243-pound weight loss in such a short time.
Two
So
hundred
it's just
forty-five
amazing.
pounds.
245 pounds, I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. It was 243 pounds up until the actual April the 17th,
Yeah,
2023.
okay.
And then since that time, I've only weighed once. And like, I really just don't. I used to weigh every day. As you could tell, like I showed you on the app, man, all those little blue dots, if you zoom in, are like, that's the only thing that I track. For everybody that asks all the time that I'm always talking about the app where I track with, the only thing I tracked was those little blue dots on that app right there, and that's whenever I would weigh every day or every couple of days or whatever. I would log it in there what I weighed, and then I would go on to the next. But the other thing I want to emphasize while we're talking about the weight loss and stuff, if you look at it from a year perspective, it looks straight down, right? Or at an angle. It's almost as straight down as you can go over a year, long time.
Right.
But if I zoom in really close, and I zoom in, this is a picture from January the 8th, 2023 to February the 11th, 2023. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like it's flat, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it's straight down. It looks like it's flat. But when I zoom back out, you can see the line is as straight down as you can see. And so a lot of people are looking at that scale, and they're seeing, well, man, I've lost 5 pounds in 3 weeks. Like, this is something's wrong. It's not working how it's supposed to work. Your body knows what to do, and it's not always going to look straight down. But if you trust the process over time, it's gonna rock. It's gonna get where it needs to be, and that's one of the things. And I often don't pull that app up enough and show. I don't know that I've ever showed that app because I never want to find it and fidget through my phone until I get the Wick Carnivore show. All right. So you got the exclusive on the app. I finally pulled it up and made the point that I've been trying to make with the weight loss stuff. Don't get focused in on 2 or 3 weeks, because I was a moderator in Carnivore Quest community for over a year now. I've just opened up my own private group on Facebook, Carnivorous Community, and for the same reason, and we're working together. It's not a competition, but you know, it, as far as the weight loss, I've seen it so many times over and over and over. People get so discouraged, and it causes them to fall off the wagon, or however they describe not eating what the proper human diet should be eating, or to go back and revert back, or try to change things up too quickly without giving it a chance to work, because the weight's not moving as quick as they want it to move. And I just want you to know, you can't focus in on that part of it. If you do, it's not going to look like you want it to look. But if you do it over time, it's going to look exactly like you want it to look, and you're going to get there. You're going to get to the goal because you're going to be satiated. It's going to start fixing those health issues that gives your body the ability to drop the weight at that point. So you can't emphasize it or restate it enough. Look at the big picture, focus and zero in on that process more than anything, because that's what you can control.
Yeah. And that's just a great point. I I think there are people out there, there's doctors out there that say, look, don't even weigh yourself every day. Do it once a week or once a month type deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably the better way to do it. I get crazy about it and I check it every day. And um I have different reasons for that. Like I might be like, okay, I know how I ate today and what does the scale tell me? Because that's going to help me to know a little bit more about my body,
Mm-hmm.
and what I did, how I trained, if I drink more water, whatever, that type of thing. But yeah, it's there are times that I notice I've even recently this has happened. I gained like a pound in a week,
I
and
saw
the
that.
week before I lost 5, 6 pounds, or the week after maybe, although I'm probably around the same weight at this point so far this week, but vacation kind of hurt me there. Did
You
not
were at
eat
two.
correctly.
You were
What's
at
that?
what? You were at 296.6 on the last video that I saw.
Yeah.
Has it moved?
So it maybe by a couple tenths. So not by
Yeah.
much. But the video before that, I was 295.8. So I went up by
Mm-hmm.
8 tenths of a pound.
Mm-hmm.
Yet there were some measurements that were better, right? Like I think my neck went down by like a quarter of an inch or something like that. And so there's still progress happening, and there could be different reasons for slight weight gain. It could even be as different as I drank more water before going to bed and didn't,
Oh yeah.
get rid of it all, or I weighed myself a couple hours later in the day than I normally do first thing in the morning type deal. So there's different things like that that can definitely make a difference.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but yeah,
Oh,
it's go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, like, a gallon of water weighs 8.4 pounds. If it's hot outside and you drink a gallon of water, you just drank 8 pounds into your body. So
Yeah.
weight is weight. It is what it is. My weight could fluctuate 7 pounds in a day. Like, I can't tell you how many times I stepped on a scale, and I'm like, how in the world did I go up 4 pounds today? I haven't eaten anything. I literally did nothing but go outside and walk and go to work or whatever, and I gained 4 pounds. I haven't even eaten my supper yet. Um, the scale will lie to you, and your brain will use that and manipulate stuff. Man, it is crazy what it'll do. It, my everyday weigh-in was a motivator for me, and I guess it's easy whenever it's dropping like that. I was more curious to see. I was like, man, I wonder if this is real. Is if this is like, I don't want to do anything, and it also helped with my discipline, because like, I wanted to sleep in the same position. I didn't want nobody to touch my lucky socks. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I just lost 100 pounds in 4 months. I'm not changing nothing. I don't care. I am doing this from now on. That's kind of a mentality that you get in. It didn't start off like that. It started off with, I wanted a freaking cheeseburger. I wanted a Jersey Mike footlong sub. I wanted a chili cheeseburger plate from the dive, in town, whatever. I wanted some chocolate milk, and I wanted my Texas fajitas with the wraps and the salsa. Mexican food is my jam. And whenever I ate off plan throughout the time that I've been carnivore, every single time I had a plan in place, and it was always Texas fajitas. I don't know if you have that where you're at, or know what Texas fajitas even is, but it's basically like just steak, shrimp. and chicken, and it does have some onions and peppers mixed in with it. So it's not on the plan, and it has the little wraps, and it comes with the little what does Dr. Kiltz call it? Nature's toilet paper. It comes with some lettuce and some sour cream and stuff. Not a lot, just like a little bit. Um, but whenever I had a plan in place because I had no idea that I would be able to stick with this eating this way anyway. But I said if I do eat off plan, Dr. Berry says if you cheat on lion diet, do it with BBB and E. If you cheat on BBB and E, do it with carnivore. If you cheat on carnivore, do it with keto or ketovore. And if you cheat on ketovore, do it with keto. Fall one step back and you're still inside of the ketogenic spectrum, you're not going to land way out here somewhere. So that was kind of what my plan was. If like I just could not go on anymore, I'm going to try this, and if this works, then cool. I'm going to get back on my plan. And so I would once a month I would have like Texas fajitas, the little mix or whatever, and then know that that's it. Like you're not dragging this out. You don't get enough to bring home leftovers for 6 weeks and knock you off the plan. You have this meal. This is your plan. If you're going to eat not on plan, you're going to eat this, which was still meat heavy with a little onions and peppers. Um, but that's how strict I was though. Those just that little bitty thing with the onions and peppers in it like kept me like focused because that was really a big cheat for me because I literally ate nothing else. I drank water. I wouldn't even drink the carbonated water or coffee or nothing for that, this whole time. After 5 months, I added coffee back in, but don't tell Dr. Chafee because I always say that because, he goes off on the coffee. And it probably isn't good for me because it's a plant. He makes sense. He says it's got 150 neurotoxins in it. It is what
Yeah.
it is. Everybody's got to kind of figure out where it's sustainable for them. But I'm going to tell you right now, I can't tell that a whole lot has benefited me from adding the coffee back in, but nevertheless, that consistency and discipline, man, has added a lot to it. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I'm not rambling here.
No, no, that is great. That's great. Yeah. And you know, the other thing, uh, I know I'm not near as intelligent as Professor Bart K is here.
Oh
Don't
man,
even look like him or anything, but I'm going to put on my Bart K hat here. And
none of us are that intelligent, bro.
that is true. So we're over here talking about weight loss, but what we really mean is fat loss, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, what
I don't want to lose
everybody looks at it
anything
that way.
else.
Everybody looks at it that way. They're like, what, how much do I weigh on the scale? But what they really want to see, they don't want to see their muscle go away. They want to see their fat go away, right? The body fat that they
Yeah,
have. So that's really what it's about more so than losing weight. And again, if you're overweight, you're going to see the weight drop off. But there's people out there, particularly vegans. There's been a lot of vegans more recently that have switched to carnivore. And there are people out there that are really skinny and probably don't have the muscle that they should have. And they come to carnivore and they're like, well, why am I gaining weight? Well, you're gaining weight because you're actually building muscle now that you didn't have. And I've talked to vegans who say, you know what? I even looked like I had muscle, but I just felt so weak compared to now. It's like now I feel so strong and I don't look any different than I did when I was vegan. So it's interesting how you got to look at it again by you're not looking, you really shouldn't look at it by the weight. We talk about it as weight and how many pounds we've lost or whatever, but it's really about the fat loss and the muscle gain. And that's how you're getting healthy.
oh,
And
100%. I mean, I don't know anybody who's overweight seriously and doesn't want to be lose weight. I've never seen anybody walking around that was overweight or online that needed to lose weight. I've never heard any of them say, I'm overweight, but you know what? I'm good with that. I'll get rid of all the other stuff, but I'll just keep the weight. I'll keep the fat.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to get rid of the fat. Like, it's not that it's not important. And every time that I ever give advice and mention that, it's not that I'm being dismissive or anything like that either, because I know it's important. I do that and I say that because I'm trying to get you to not focus on that, because it's almost like, I always say this: don't jinx the band and make them break up. You know the movie with Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore where she's got his shirt on and he says, "Take off my Van Halen T-shirt before you jinx the band and make it break
Yeah.
up." So
Yep.
that's where the reference comes from. I'm like, don't think about your weight and jinx the band and make it break up. You're going to ruin the system because you're so focused on your weight that you cause your cortisol to go up, and that's going to stall your weight from losing because your hormones are going to be messed up. So, like, focus on something, the process, and don't focus on the weight because you're stressing yourself out. And that might be the one thing, obviously we talked about that a little earlier. Um, that that cortisol might be the one thing from stress that's stalling you from being able to lose weight. I don't know. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it's not. It could be. And make sure, focus on your sleep pattern. Focus on getting your hormones checked. Focus on putting the right foods in. Focus on getting out in the sunlight and letting the sun hit you in the face every day. And a lot of people were into the grounding thing. Do the grounding. What could it hurt? More people are talking about it and saying that there's a lot of benefits that you can get. Do it. Get the sun on your face. Focus on all these things that can benefit you and lessen the stress. And just, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen how it's supposed to happen, and you're gonna fix what you can fix. Maybe it's not everything, and maybe it's not in the time frame that you want it to happen. I think that's a society and cultural thing that we're in, honestly. All right, so I need to lose 245 pounds. I've got 1 year to do it, so I need to lose this. So if you can put that order in, 1 year, 245 pounds, and all my problems fixed, and write that check. It is possible. It can happen, but none of us, myself or anybody else, gets to push that button and decide that that's how it happens. Our bodies get to decide that, and we got to focus on it. And it's amazing. I'm not like, I don't know if you saw it, the interview I did with Italian Gone Carnivore. She lost like 180 pounds in a year. I mean, so it's not just me. It's not just a
Yeah.
30, 49, 39, 40-year-old man. It's a 50-year-old lady, in a whole different area code with a different eating patterns and life pattern. Whatever. I mean, it's happening all over. So focus on what you can focus on, and don't let that stress be the thing that knocks you out.
Yeah. All right. So, one thing we haven't talked about is goals. Do you build any kind of goals for yourself as you've gone on in this past year?
Yeah, I have actually. My goal was very sarcastic at first. And so whenever I was coming to this, I was so skeptical about this. I'm like, these people are crazy, but Dr. Barry seems to know what's going on. I'm willing to give it a try. And so, Dr. Barry, if this works like it works, I want to be 190 pounds then. I'm being real, just skeptical and sarcastic. And so like I'm 212 now. So I haven't met my goal, even though um, I'm extremely close. And that, I think that's too why the YouTube channel is just now getting started really well, is because I was so skeptical about it, and I wanted to put in the work, and I feel like I can't be passionate about saying something that I don't believe in. I can't get on there and talk about doing something that I'm not doing. That's not who I am. I can't give advice to people unless I know that it's going to work. You know, um, and I wouldn't, because I'd just be a hypocrite. Telling people to do something that I'm not even practicing. So um, it's tough. And I mean, don't get me wrong, nobody's perfect. I'm definitely not perfect, and I haven't even met my own goal yet. Um, I've done some great things and seen some great stuff and helped a lot of people, and hopefully can help a lot more over time. That's the mission now, you know. Um, but yeah, the goals change over time too, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
as the closer I started getting to this goal, I'm like, man, I can do other things. Like, so I also want to start working out, not because I feel like it's something that you have to do all the time. I just haven't done it, and I want to do it. I'm smaller than I've ever been. I weighed what I weigh now in like eighth grade, and that's the last time I weighed this amount. So I'm not used to being this small ever. I don't know what to do, you know. I want to work out. I want to get in the gym. I wanted to when the YouTube thing started. I wanted to reach everybody in the world to where, you know, anybody anywhere can jump on there and just say, hey, look, you know, this is the community that we have, and I can find help and support with these people. And, you know, and so, you know, a big thing is me showing love. That's one of my goals, showing love to people. I don't have to agree with you. You don't even have to like me, you know, but I want to show love to you and show you that, you know, that we can make a difference. And even if you don't like me, we can work together and accomplish goals for other people and invest in other people and believe in other people and get answers that's going to help other people, even if we don't agree on everything. It's important, man, that we work together, especially in this community with the answers that we do have.